the University of Oklahoma. And Landry Jones got another win. Landry earning another win closer to Davis's overall wins at the position of quarterback at the University of Oklahoma. 1 win away. This one came against Florida A&M. It was a heck of a lot easier than it was against the University of Texas of El Paso. In fact, in the first quarter, they scored, well, they already had 14 points at the end of the first quarter. That is more points than the Sooners had in the first half last time around. That tells you how much more pumped, how much more excited, how much more scoring was done in this game. But there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that the Sooners got off to a quick start. The bad, well, there were some injuries. And the ugly, well, the defense kind of gave up some big plays. So the good, bad, and the ugly. More good news? Well, what about the Casey Walker situation? We'll get into that and about how he... Well, what will happen there? There's a possibility that he'll return for the Kansas State matchup in 2 weeks. But for right now, we'll talk about the Florida A&M matchup. We'll go through this quarter-by-quarter stats, quarter-by-quarter scoring review, all that, injury updates, all that good stuff. It's all up next on 1982 Boomer Sooner. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sooner OU Sooner review and scoring drive review. Scoring review, stats reviews, all of it. First, we'll start with the scoring review, and we'll start in the first quarter I was just talking about. Everything started, and this time it started a little bit quicker, like I said. This time it was 7:05 left in the first quarter, and the Sooners scored the first 7 points. This time around, it was junior college transfer Damian Williams with a 3-yard touchdown run, which things started off 7-0 Sooners, as I said, with 7:05 left in the first quarter. Staying in the first quarter, what do you do from 3? You go to a 4-yard run by Damian Williams. 14-0 Sooners with 5:17 left. Flip to the second half. After what would be called one of those bad plays I was just talking about, Dominique Whaley, their junior college transfer slash guy that came in last year, made a big difference. Well, he fumbled 2 weeks ago. Everybody remembers that Justin Brown came up with that fumble. Well, this time it was Florida A&M that came up with the fumble. And Chase Vandador helped them capitalize on that with a 41-yard field goal with 10:52 left. But the Sooners still had the lead, 14-3. Then it was the Damian Williams show. That thing continued. This time, a 15-yard run to make things 21-3 Sooners with 9:20 left. I've already called Damian Williams' name 3 times in 2 quarters. That's pretty good. Another bad bow for the Sooners. Damian Fleming, the quarterback for Florida A&M, found Travis Harvey for a 75-yard touchdown jolt to make things a bit uneasy for the Sooners. 28-10 Sooners with 4:26 left, and he beat Aaron Colburn on that potential pass. But the Sooners were not done scoring either. With an 18-yard touchdown pass from Landry Jones to true freshman / redshirt freshman, however you want to call it, because he was not on OU's campus last year, Trey McGuire coming up with his first OU career touchdown and pushing the Sooners to a 35-10 lead with 36 seconds left at the half, until half. Third part of the game, the third quarter, it's Brendan Clay time. Brendan Clay, a 3-yard touchdown jolt with 12:11 left, pushing the Sooners' lead to 42-10. And then the Damian Williams show continued. Hold on to your hats, people. I wish I had like a play-by-play of this one. A one-play, 89-yard run for Damian Williams. 49-10 Sooners with 10:34 left. All 89 yards came on one play. It was an 89-yard run by Damian Williams that time. After that, another rushing touchdown. Brendan Clay was back in the end zone, making things 56-10 with 6:49 left. But the Rattlers were not yet done scoring. Chase Vendador, 46-yard field goal with 2:10 left, and it was good, making things 56-13. Then he's fumbled the last 2 games, but he made up for it with a 4-yard touchdown run. Did Dominique Whaley with 13:52 left in the fourth quarter. So now we're in the fourth quarter. But however, Michael Honeycutt missed the PAT, and the final touchdown of the night went to a 15-yard touchdown run by Roy Finch, making things 69-13 with 5:59 left in the game. So scoring's over. It's 69-13. It's a pretty good win, right? Scoring-wise. Let's see how things looked stats-wise. Stats-wise, we'll start with passing. Landry was 252 yards, two touchdowns, and an interception. The interception was just bad. He threw the ball up and just it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad throw. Damian Fleming is the other quarterback for Florida A&M. He had a 133 yards passing, a touchdown, and his pick. I'll get into his pick later. It wasn't returned for a touchdown or anything, but it was a huge, huge play. Rushing-wise, Damian Williams, I'm sure you can already tell just by the stats that he had on the other page about all the scoring that he was the main man. And he got 10 carries, 156 yards, and the 4 touchdowns we are now done talking about. And as for Florida A&M, James Owens, 6 carries, 35 yards, and no touchdowns. Receiving-wise, Kenny Stills, his dad's in the NFL. He's kind of the main go-to guy now that Ryan's gone, and he made up for it again. Kenny Stills with 10 catches, 120 yards, and the touchdown. And the receiving trophy for Florida A&M goes to Travis Harvey, 4 catches for 118 yards, and his 1 touchdown. Defensively, Aaron Franklin, 6 total tackles and a sack for the number 25 for the University of Oklahoma Sooners. And for Florida A&M, Jonathan Pilla, he had 13 total tackles last night. The punting game for the Sooners, they did it twice in the first half, and that's about all they had to do it with him. They used Tress Way, as they always do. Averages 38.5 yards per average last night, including a 45-yarder. And both punts, both of them, landed inside the 20-yard line, which, I mean, he seems to always do that, doesn't he? On the other side, there were 10 of these. 10 punts. 36 yards an average, and 45 is the long. 0 of those were within the 20-yard line. Kicking-wise, Michael Honeycutt, 0 for 0. But like I said, he did miss that point-after attempt earlier. Chase Vandador, 2 for 2 on field goals, along of 46 yards. Heupel's hyping play of the night. Heupel's hype was the 89-yard touchdown run by Damian Williams there in the third quarter. That was just a huge play. It was a 1-yard drive. It was one play, 89 yards. From the 11-yard line to the end zone, it was a huge play. And it was all Damian Williams all the time. And he was just, he was gone, guys. That's all you can say. Stoopsy's stop for Mike Stoops. It has to be Javon Harris, who got Mike Stoops his first official turnover since his return to the Sooner Nation a game ago. And it was the interception. And it happened at midfield in the first quarter with 4:23 left in the first quarter. Injury updates. There was an injury. It happened in that first quarter. About the time that Javon Harris caught the interception. San Diego native. Number 1 in our hearts, in our minds, and on the field. Tony Jefferson left the game in the first quarter. Like I said, it was late in the first quarter, so it was about that 4:23 mark. Bobby Stoops, the head coach for the Sooners, says that if it was a tighter, tougher ball game, he probably could have played, but they just didn't need to feel the need to keep on playing him with him being haggled by that injury and injuring it anymore because of the display of non-competitional games. And Mike Stoops said that Tony himself was disappointed, but he was adequate that he should be back for the Kansas State matchup in 2 weeks. Finally, speaking of players coming back, Jamarcus McFarland, the defensive tackle, he's going to get some help in 2 weeks because Casey Walker has his personal issues taken care of. He's ready to rock and roll. He's ready to go. Case closed. Casey Walker will play in 2 weeks in the matchup against Kansas State. There is no update on Stacy McGee, and I'm suspecting that we not hear anything or hear about any return for quite some time. You remember you had the university issues also with 3 other guys that probably, those guys still aren't even back and aren't suspected to be back until much later in the season. So there's that all happening here tonight. Thank you guys for watching my YouTube casts. I love you guys for watching it. If you are a Sooner fan or know a Sooner fan that has as much heart, as much passion as I do, I mean, it was, and nothing is more accurate of a representation than what happened over this last weekend. I do not get my tickets from the University of Oklahoma. I use StubHub. And with that sometimes you might not get just one. Sometimes you'll get 2 tickets. So I got 2 tickets. And I'm heading to the ball game with my Sooner girls. And we're heading to the game. We're chilling. We're talking. We're laughing. We're doing our thing. And I'm trying to get rid of my other ticket. And I run into this couple that they're trying to get into the game. It's a gentleman and his wife and a newborn that's probably not even 6 months. Okay? In basketball games, women's basketball games, volleyball games, soccer games, anywhere else at the University of Oklahoma, you can take your kid in for free. Any other situation, and don't get me wrong, I'm an OU guy, and I just felt so bad because these people, you could tell that they were passionate. You know, they had their tickets ready to go in hand. They were ready to rock and roll, and they can't help it if they have a 6-month-old and they can't get a babysitter because probably, most likely, the babysitter that they usually use is at the University of Oklahoma football games. So now what are they going to do? They can't leave the kid at home alone, and they can't waste their other ticket. So they head to the university knowing that they're probably going to have to pay an arm and a leg for an extra ticket just for a 6-month-old. Me being the kind, generous, loving, and passionate OU fan that I am, I let this 6-month-old enjoy her first Sooner football game free of charge. I gave her dad the ticket, and I said, you know what, just go have fun. You know, I want Sooner fans to understand this is not about me. This is not a good job, Harry, pat on the head. That's not what that's about. Okay? If you want to, you can. But like I said, that's not what this is about. This is about how I feel, and it's about what's doing, and it's about doing the right thing. If you feel like it's the right thing, go ahead and do it. For me, I don't feel like it's right to make a little kid that's not even 6 months old pay $55 for an OU season ticket. That's just how I feel. And the ticket wasn't probably going to be used anyway. So, I mean, that's just food for thought, you know, as far as that's concerned. As far as the game's concerned, I do have some worries. One of them is this offense. I'm worried that Landry is getting, again, too comfortable with his football BFF, Kenny Stills. Last year, we all remember it was Ryan Broyles, and we all know what a great year he had with that. In every game that he played last year, he had over 100 yards, 10 catches. It was easy. It was easy. But he didn't win the Blishnikov. He didn't even finish the season. And after he went down, the team went down. So what we have to do is we have to fix that problem. And the only way to fix that problem is to get other people involved. Get the other receivers to cross. Get the other receivers to get involved in the game. I love this university, and that's just how I feel on it. If you feel differently, let me know. And I'll say this right here. If you know of someone that didn't want to pay $39.95, or that actually wants to see the scoring from the scoring review that I do, and they want to see the touchdowns, and they want to see the game, I got a way to do that. I'm not going to give this guy's name out here on YouTube, but I know of someone here on YouTube that uploads all of the football games onto the YouTube cast. And I'll put his link at the bottom of my link when I get this video uploaded. So if you want to go find him, He's even got this past week with Florida A&M. So if you didn't pay $39.95, you can go ahead and watch that. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, if you don't want to watch every single score, I'll let you know that the No Huddle that Fox Sports does, that's going to be on. I believe it's Monday, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. on FSOKC, Fox Sports, Oklahoma. Until then, I hope that you guys enjoyed the videos. I hope you guys enjoy all my videos. I'll see you guys for a the weekly video. Obviously, I won't be doing a postseason week video because Oklahoma won't have a postgame video this week because of the bye week. But the big news around campus is the injury to Tony Jefferson. Stoops and Mike, both Stoopsies, Mike and Bob say that he's fine. He should be okay, particularly with 2 weeks off to get rid of that hampered hamstring. And the other is that case is closed. Casey Walker will be back on the football field on that defensive line with Jamarcus McFarland when Kansas State comes rolling in. And by the way, Kansas State should beat North Texas. So I'm really hoping, I'm praying to God, because they have not been back here since, I believe it was 2008 when we played Texas Tech, the national championship year. I really want game day to come back. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, Kirkstreet, I know you guys are watching my YouTube videos. Or if not, let them know. I want them here in Norman. I want them to come back. The sooner the better. And, you know, that's going to be probably most likely 2 top 25, 2 top 10 teams. You can't beat that with a wooden stick. And plus the fact, you ready for these stats? In every single game that we've played against these guys from Kansas State, every single game except for 2 of them, every single game has been nip and tuck, back and forth. The 2 games are 4 Big 12 title game. Darren Sproles went off like a mad dog running. I think that they could have even pushed a piano through our defensive line, and Teddy and those guys couldn't have stopped it. And then last year, after Whaley went down, we lost to Texas Tech the week before. We were mad, we were upset, we were ready to go, we were hyped, and we knocked them off. First time, last time they were actually knocked off in Manhattan. So that's just some food for thought. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I have fun making the videos. Keep on watching my videos. I love you guys for watching them. And hey, Boomer Sooner!